a total dog person. In fact, in high school, they called me Dog Face. And I'm very excited to bring my Daisy here from time to time because she still is breastfeeding. But to make sure she behaves her very first visit, we've got Justin Silver, celebrity dog trainer and owner of the Language of Dogs, a dog care company here in New York City. Welcome, Justin. Now, Daisy's got her own problems, like eating her own poop and barking when the phone rings and thinking she's a cat. But I want to start with some viewers who have written in to ask us questions to ask you. Karen asked, my Labradoodle puppy is all of a sudden becoming very aggressive towards kids. I had a play date last week and had to run over to the kennel because he started growling at the little girl. I mean, I get it. When I'm around a lot of kids, I get aggressive too.
Me
but
too.
what should you do in this case?
The key word is she said Labradoodle puppy, so I would be hesitant to think that it's aggressive. It might just be rough play. You got to think, like, the kids are kids, and the puppy is a four-legged kid, so they just want to interact. It's super important to teach dogs and kids how to interact appropriately together. You can also teach dogs patience by teaching them to sit and stay on their bed and letting the kids run around and then just rewarding them for sitting there patiently. Keeping the leash on when they're interacting with the kids is great. And also, no unmonitored play between the dogs and the kids. A lot of times kids can be very handsy with dogs, and the dogs are just trying to react back, but they don't have hands to play back. They have teeth, so they're really just probably trying to interact.
Well, Daisy, although she is lounging like a Sports Illustrated
awesome
cover
right now.
model, every time somebody walks into our apartment, kids included, she barks like crazy, and that always scares everybody.
Right.
But yet she's really just protecting the home. I never get the feeling she's going to bite anybody.
That's not necessarily a bad thing. The dog's just barking, saying, "Hey, someone's here, someone's here." And what you can do is let the dog bark once or twice, and then with a reward, bring it over to a bed that you want it to sit and stay on, and just redirect that energy properly.
So you mean our whole family screaming, "Shut up, Daisy," 100 times is not the right thing to do?
That's not the right thing to do.
And Susan, my dog, is a big digger. She digs holes in the backyard, and when there's a thunderstorm, she will dig and dig in the carpet.
Dogs get anxious just like people do, and they need things to keep them occupied. A lot of times, if they get nervous, that's just going to spin them into some anxious behavior, and it expresses itself in all different types of ways. What they can do is, like I said, teach patience, and also keeping the leash on, keeping it by you. It's okay if it's a little nervous, but you don't want to let it just run wild and start these anxious behaviors.
Okay. Also, how much of it is the breed? I just feel like whenever Daisy sees another dachshund, they're just yappy.
Some dogs, like terriers, can have a lot more energy, but I try not to be too breedist. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's a great word.
There you go.
Me and I think a lot of my friends do a lot of like...
It's appropriate when it's appropriate.
I do a lot of that.
All right, but don't breastfeed.
Yeah. Well, she's only 2, and we're going to go till she's 4. In fact, does it bother you if I...
Oh, please.
And speaking of breastfeeding, in the city we see a lot of dogs dressed up in clothes.
Right.
That's okay, because I do dress up Daisy for the yearly Dachshund convention. Well, we have a hot dog costume, so she's in the middle of 2 buns. So my question is, when you see them with their little, like, down coats or their little raincoats, do those help at all?
I have, like, a 40-degree rule. If it's, like, under 40 degrees and they have short hair and they're shivering, yeah, they need to be protected from the weather.
Do those things really work, those little down coats?
Yeah, dogs don't care if they have, like, Gucci shoes on and these, like, studded collars. A lot of times people
She does. Thank you for being here, Justin.
Thank you so much for having me.
So fun. So check out Justin's charity, Funny for Fido.
Oh, Funny for Fido is great, too.
And like us on Facebook and follow us on